Good evening and welcome to the Town Board meeting for September 16th, 2025. If we could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. And Talia, would you lead us today?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if we could all remain standing for a moment of silence. As you know, it was a very difficult week last week with 9/11, the political violence, the school shooting. It's violence is never the way to settle something. You look at the shooting of Charlie Kirk, who was someone who wanted to have conversation, and someone wanted to extinguish that. And we're going to hear a lot of conversation tonight on different things, and it's just disheartening that that's the world we live in. But I think also tonight we'll see some of the younger people coming up that will be our future, and hopefully we will get past this and move forward and realize that education, conversation are the ways to success in these issues. Thank you. Okay, we'll start with introductions to my right.
Good evening, Diana Quast, Town Clerk.
Good evening, Luciana Howitt, Councilwoman.
Supervisor Ed Lachterman.
Sergio Esposito, Deputy Supervisor.
Patrick Murphy, Councilman.
Susan Siegel, Councilwoman.
Adam Rodriguez, Town Attorney.
Okay. You know, from my point from my point of view, you know, I'd like to just give everyone a heads up on the work that's happening out here on 118 and Underhill. They are doing the work to widen the road. Has been one of the needs in this town for quite a while. It's a public-private partnership with the Underhill Farms people. They were told they needed to bring the road up to a certain level in order for that project to go through. There were more improvements that could be made. The town became a partner in getting those made. Unfortunately, some of those costs have gone up. Fortunately, from the town point of view, those costs were absorbed and will continue to be absorbed by Underhill Farms. We agreed on a certain amount of price, which the people had told us, their consultant said this is what the cost of it would be broken down. And we were very adamant about, you know, the dollar amount that we would go with, and things are moving along.
So the town's buy-in is fixed?
Yes, okay. Yes. So what's happening right now is, as you see, they're digging out some trees. They did it on the other side, where right now, if you've ever noticed, you come down Underhill, well, first you don't have turn lanes properly, and you also don't have proper turn lanes off of 118. Those are being added. They are widening the road. They will have, coming down Underhill, you will actually have three lanes. You'll have a left turn, a straight ahead, and a right turn lane, which is projected to speed up the traffic on that road by 80%, because people won't get stuck behind cars waiting to make a left-hand turn. We will also have, if you notice coming down, when you get to in front of Town Hall, the road sort of turns. It has an angle in it, and that angle will be eliminated, and the road will be widened to be able to handle the traffic in a safer environment. So a lot of great things. They started the work. We are looking to have just about everything done by, and if Dan could correct me later when he comes back up, I believe the schedule is October 31st. So we are looking to get that road work ready to go. The only issue is we're waiting on the mast arms, but there is a solution to utilize the lights that are there, add a head that will be lent to us to extend the turn lanes and be able to make it functionable, even if we have to wait for those mast lights to come in. So some good things. Con Ed was just not Con Ed. I'm sorry, NYSEG just moved the telephone or the electric pole over for that road widening. You've seen the curb cutting. So a lot of great things, and I think that this will make the Underhill Avenue in particular, when you're coming off the Taconic, much, much safer. So very excited about that. I'll talk about other projects another time. I'll kick it back. Actually, we'll kick over to Susan.
Thank you, Ed. As most of you kind of know by now, I tend to deal with the issues that are not so sexy, all right, but the nitty-gritty of how this town works. So I do have a few items I just want to give you updates on. There's some confusion about our public access channel 20, which for Verizon turned to 1313. But there's a notice that came out from Verizon, from Optimum, saying they're going back to channel 20. Beginning channel 20. I misread it and thought it was starting on September 15th, but it's beginning September 15th on a rolling basis. So just keep on alert that if you turn into 1313 and it's not working, go back to 20, because I have no idea when the change is being made. But it's important that you know when the public access channel is. As of today, it was still 1313. All right. Sewers are always one of my issues. On July 1st, we had a hearing and we passed resolutions. Town is going to proceeding with the upgrade of 5 pump stations. And we were using like a $5 million grant that we got many, many years ago. So my question is, perhaps you can help me out on this, Ed, is typically once we decided to proceed, our outside consultant has to start doing the design work, and that costs money because we're hiring the consultant to do work. So has there been an agreement with EDR, who's our consultant, to actually start working on that design work? I don't think that they're going to do things without us having an agreement with them to pay them for it.
There was already an agreement, and they are working on it. The agreement goes back to quite a while when they did all the initial work on the plans for the pump stations.
But was that just to do some initial? They did a conceptual report, which they did doing the.
No, they did an engineering report, because this is not conceptual. This is all hard engineering.
So all that hard engineering work has been done.
Yep, and then Dan looked at it for some value engineering. And when he comes up, if you'd like to have a conversation with him, but all of the things are working. Our biggest problem is the funding out of our sewer fund balance. We need to have enough money to be able to spend the money, and that is building up as we speak. There was a couple of things that DEC owed us for.
And with the contract that you're saying that we already have with EDR, will that cover the cost of preparing the specs? These can be very detailed specs, and that's, again, a very time-consuming job for EDR. So I'm concerned that EDR doesn't stop work because
Right.
we don't have
EDR
an
is
agreement.
not stopping work, and they did specs, and Dan was value engineering them.
No,
So-
who's doing the specs? Is EDR doing the specs?
EDR did the specs. That's how we were able to get the grant. So when Dan comes up, we could get a little more information from him, or you feel more than free to email him. I know you never have.
Okay. Whatever
Susan,
all right,
I
let's
gave you
pursue
my
this
answers.
on.
Thank you.
Okay. The second issue I'd like to talk about is earlier in the month, I did make a suggestion that we have a special meeting at the end of September, because right now we're basically only having one full work session a month. The town has historically had at least 2. There is a growing list of issues that I think need a full-time work session, not tagging on a work session discussion in the middle of a regular meeting, which just makes for 4-hour meetings, all right? And I know you said you couldn't make it on that meeting that was tentatively put on the town calendar for September 30th. So I very much like this board to commit to having that fourth work session in October, and there is one on the calendar already for October 28th. I can go through the list of issues that are pending, and it's a growing list.
Susan, if you'd like, come upstairs. We'll board everything that you have a concern about and see, and I will make the decision as we get through the meetings to see if we will need. I'm
Well,
not gonna-
that's I'd like to make this list public because, yes, I typically will send Ed, he's gotten used to my emails, saying, could you put this on the agenda and that on the agenda? The supervisor controls the agenda, and I'm just saying there are many issues, and we only have 3 work sessions basically left the rest of the year. Let me just go through some of the issues.
Susan, if you don't mind, we could do this. I will, like I just said, I will board them for you. We will look through and see what we could get. I don't know if it's appropriate. We have 6 presentations today.
Well,
That's-
I have a short list. You don't want to hear the list, fine, but I'm just asking you.
I
I will
asked you
send
to
you
get-
the list.
yes,
and
that's what I
urge
asked you for.
So that people, we won't be meeting again until the first week in October. I think
October 7th, yes.
is that the first meeting? Okay. That people should know in October 7th that we're going to have a meeting on October 28th, so the public knows to schedule a meeting, but also that the people involved in that particular discussion know in advance to be available on the 28th.
We will look at it on the 14th, and I will
Why
make that
can't it be
decision.
on the
There's a
7th?
Because I'd like to see what we get through, as I
All right.
said, and there may be, we may get to that point and not be able to do anything because there are things out for public hearings that we have to wait on. So
One of the issues is we have a grant application that's due on October 15th. That's going to involve, that's the DRI NY Forward thing, which is going to involve the town talking about what issues it wants, what projects it wants to
they will be
include in the
coming.
grant.
They will be coming in for a meeting like they did the last time. I think, Diana, I know were you involved in those emails? Is it the 6th they're looking at right now? It might be Monday, October 6th. But we are very well aware they will be here. They'll be here all day. There'll be day sessions, private sessions off with people who want to come and talk about specific projects. And there will be people who speak about, there'll be a full meeting, an open meeting for anyone who wants to come in. And this was explained by Jay when he was just here. It was explained to him it was explained by him the time he was here last year. And it's a requirement of the DRI grant that New York Forward grant, that you have these public meetings. You were here. I know you were.
Absolutely, and I thank you for mentioning that the dates, and I think those dates should be announced as early.
As
But
soon
the
as they're
town
cemented.
board still has to talk about what town projects that we want to put in there, and that's mostly for the public input. But then the town has to decide, and when are we going to talk about it? Because the application has to be in on the 15th. Last year, when we did this application, I didn't know what the town was proposing until I saw the final application. I had no say in what the application included for town projects. That should be a town board function.
And I think the explanation that Jay had given and we spoke about is that when they did the first initial grant, there were some pie in the sky type of things, like the monorail basically running through the shopping areas. And there were a bunch of things that were there, and I was like, "Oh, this is ridiculous." We actually got a call back because they wanted to flesh that out a little bit, which was something that I didn't think would even tickle someone's interest, that they would push it off. So it's supposed to be pretty vague, and then as we get into it, that's when things get ironed. And I think, as Jay put it, there are very, very few DRI grants, or New York Forward grants, that get awarded that go for the projects that were looked at. It's a very fluid grant application. Our biggest thing we've been looking at is the library expansion, and which really, we know that our residents use our library. We're one of the busiest in the system, even though being one of the smaller ones in comparison, population-wise.
We're
So-
third in the county.
Third or fourth, depending on the month.
But
yeah.
as you said, you don't want to put pie in the sky because they look at your application and say, "Hey, this is pie in the sky. I'm just going to put
But they
that on
didn't.
that pile."
The one thing I thought was pie in the sky, they came back and wanted to know about.
But you talk about the library, but what other projects? I think the town board, as a town board member representing the public, I think I'd like to have a discussion with my colleagues as to whether we want, besides the library, what other, item 2, 3, and 4 do we want to put into that application? And the application is due on the 15th, so we need a discussion before that.
But part of that is also half of it is supposed to come through the private sector.
That
Half is for the public sector, half is for the private sector. So we have some things that have already been in there. I'm more than happy to tear that apart, and we could try to bring it to a meeting.
That's all I'm asking for,
But
that
it-
we need a public discussion about, the public wants to know what kind of projects the town board is considering.
My recommendation is as soon as we iron out the date for Jay being here, whether it's the 6th, the 8th, but it's going to be around that 7th meeting, that you go there, vocalize, come in with some ideas. We could all be there. It's an open meeting. It's there, and then on the 7th we could take a look at it.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll send a note for that.
Yeah, because I haven't been allowed to talk about the other topics, so I
That's
will
not,
just-
that's not
All right.
accurate.
All right, so,
That's definitely not accurate. Let's be honest. Go ahead.
all right, I'm going to talk about the library. The library, every Monday, they have rock and roll for the little ones at all ages at 10:30 in the morning. They also have on Thursdays, they have you build your Legos. That's at 5:30. It's 5 and over. And you have library card month. So if you need a library card, this is the month to grab it. Okay? I just want to acknowledge all the 9/11 memorial services that were out there. The Elks had one. Jefferson Village had one. It was awesome. And Shrub Oak, the town had one over at Shrub Oak in the firehouse. Did a great job on that. And on a little sad note, we lost Al Reed. I don't know if anybody knows Al Reed. He was a high school chemistry teacher at the high school. He was our class advisor, and I never had him, but he was a very generous and caring person, and he passed away on August 25th down in North Carolina. So we just found out the news. He was 87, and he's going to be missed, and his niece Donata is going to have a little celebration of life over at the Abercapolani Center at this Saturday at 1:00. So anybody older that had him for a little bit and wants to say stop in and say hello, please do so at 1:00 on Saturday.
All right. Well, piggybacking on what Councilwoman Siegel was saying, there are other contributing factors that have made our meetings longer, and the opening comments are usually not a time for a 20-minute discussion on things. They've traditionally been can be whatever you want, right? But traditionally it's been, hey, here are some announcements, and then let's get on. I believe the supervisor did add a section called for discussion items, and I've recommended on several occasions to let's add the items to the discussion items, so this way the agenda is listed. There are times when our opening comments don't end until 8:30, and that's happened on many occasions. But irrespective of that, I think that could use a little tweaking. Let's get on to the fun stuff. We had some more infrastructure stuff going on in Yorktown, Blackberry Woods. We did a brand new swing set there, and all the kids and the families. There's a lot of families with kids in that neighborhood.
Multi-generational that were there from the beginning of that whole neighborhood, which was amazing.
It was really cool. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that was
So it was like kudos to Parks and Recreation and the Parks Commission for taking that on and getting that done. It really was a great improvement to that playground. Kids were running all over the place. It was just really wonderful to see. Really that's what I see our neighborhoods being in Yorktown. And so it's great to see that. High school sports. My favorite sports is not professional. It's not college. I think high school sports are the best. I mean, it's just it's still clean and pure, and it's not like about money and all of that stuff. And it's in full swing. So our football teams are out. We have all sorts of other sports going on. Soccer is big. The Yorktown team is doing really well. Anyway, try to take in. You could go on the Lakeland school calendar schedule. You can get and just show up at a game. You'll love it. It's so much fun. And I know that there's a lot of they do a lot of themed events. One is support for cancer and cancer awareness and breast cancer, which is always great. I think last year was Tackle for a Cure or something like that for a football game in Lakeland. Really a lot of fun. The Grange Fair was fantastic. I mean, unfortunately, it rained again. I mean, I don't know, I don't know what to do about that, but the place was mobbed. It was packed, and I've never seen it so busy. It was their 101 year, right? 101st year.
Yep.
And I'm sorry that it had to rain on Saturday. Kind of cleared everybody out at around 1 or 2 o'clock. But man, what a wonderful time it was! And they had a guy playing kids music, and little kids were dancing around. It was just a great event. You got to take it in.
I heard you have a new career starting, though.
Oh
because of
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Sergio was the announcer for the wrestling matches.
I got threatened a couple of times by the wrestlers, the bad ones. There was the bad guy and the good guy. It was really a lot of fun. So kudos to the Grange. We have our finally what everybody's been waiting for: pickleball, Sport Time Pickleball, right here across the street. Is opening. They're doing a soft opening, I believe, tomorrow, but the grand opening is going to be this Saturday, and it's pickleball weekend, according to them. Still haven't played pickleball, but
It's a lot of fun.
I have to take it in. We also got something else big that's coming up. The San Gennaro Feast starts on Wednesday. That's tomorrow?
Yep.
That's tomorrow. Wednesday's tomorrow, guys. So San Gennaro, great. Yeah. They all blend now, So.
Starts at 5.
It starts at 5. It's going to be great. They always have a lot of people. It always gets packed. They have a great venue of music, great food. Uncle Giuseppe's is a big sponsor. So it's just another great event, following the Grange Fair in Yorktown for all of us to enjoy. It is National Recovery Month. Okay, so this is September is a big month for drug awareness. And the idea is try to prevent substance abuse before it starts, because when you get hooked on drugs, that stuff it's like somebody puts 2 hands around your neck and chokes you until the unthinkable happens. So be mindful of that this month and every month. And if you know somebody that's suffering, there is so much help out there, from drug awareness to suicide prevention, which kind of seems to go hand in hand with this stuff. So just, be mindful of it. And we have a couple of events coming up. There's the Drug Epidemic Awareness Memorial on September 25th. That's right here on that Lovelocks fence that we put up. And then there's a Run for Recovery on September 27th. And then at the end of the month, the Yorktown Fire District is having a special election on September 30th. When is Shed the Meds? I
Today.
saw that.
No, Shed the Meds was today.
We missed it. So,
But it's always there in the police station.
Yes.
yeah, that's right. You can always drop off any surplus stuff that
But
you
I
have
thi-
laying around the house.
You were saying something important.
I was.
September 30th. The
It's always nice when the supervisor says I said something important.
the bond resolution.
Yeah, it's the vote on the bond resolution, right? So September 30th, it's a big vote, Yorktown Fire District. And lastly, about the road, I think the biggest improvement on this road is going to be that Underhill is actually going to travel straight through, because right now it's just not symmetrical. I mean, you're coming up by Town Hall, and you almost got to kind of shift. It's almost like a lane shift to keep going straight, and that's where everybody gets into trouble when you're trying to make a left turn. You're not really in your lane making the left turn. You're actually in the center of the intersection with oncoming traffic. So I think that's going to be a big improvement, and I think it's going from a D/F rating. That's how they rate intersections and roads, to I think a B. Is that where it's supposed
Yeah,
to be?
I think it's going to be.
So that's actually, believe it or not, a huge improvement. So when I was in school, if I went from an F to a B, I always got B's and C's. No, I got A's anyway. Enjoy our presentations, guys.
Just to highlight a little bit about that firehouse vote, it is only for people who are in the Yorktown Heights Fire District. If you're in Lakeland, Jefferson Village, I think, is part of Mohegan, you do not have to go out to vote. And it runs from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's a vote for a no more than $30 million bond to build a new firehouse, take down the other one, and do it so it could accommodate the fire apparatus. If you go on to the town channel on and off hour, you will see I had our chief, assistant chief, and one of our fire commissioners in on actually yesterday, on Monday, and Monday late afternoon, and we did a show, so you are able to find out all the information. There was a lot of Q&A. You vote right at the firehouse.
Right here on Commerce.
Yep, Commerce Street and Hanover.
I thought I saw. Yeah. No, that's it.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
well,
you.
since you guys pretty much covered it all, on Monday at sundown, it will be the Rosh Hashanah celebration. So Shana Tova to all of you, and wishing you a sweet year. And then hopefully tell you at the end of this meeting, we can chat for a second. If we are having our meeting on the 7th, maybe we can put something in the back.
Okay,
Let's
well,
get
Ty will be
started.
talking about that stuff, so. All right. John isn't here today? Okay. Is that
Oh, we
something
have
to
a-
read?
I have something from him here, from John McMullen, our poet laureate. My rollator and me. My rollator is a wonderful thing. It allows me to go from the bed to the bathroom, from the house to the car. It has a seat and a storage area. It allows me to do things that I couldn't do after I broke my hip. I can't wait to be done with it. By John McMullen.
All right. So we're going to start our presentations, and first up, Talia Cohen Pearson. She is basically the head of the Holocaust Committee, and you have some people coming from the school, from the high school. Why don't you come up, bring your team, and introduce everyone.
Hi, everyone. I'm Talia Pearson. I'm a senior at Yorktown High School, and I'm really honored to be here today with some other Yorktown High School students to talk about an event that we're hosting soon, as well as other issues affecting the Jewish community in Yorktown. So I'm going to let them all introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Sophia Sanamenico, and I'm a freshman at Yorktown High School. Hi, I'm Dylan Silverman. I'm a junior at Yorktown High School.
Hello, I'm Ben Silverman. I'm also a junior at Yorktown High School. I'm here today to speak as a Jewish student and community member about the upcoming 2-year anniversary of October 7th, 2023, a date that holds deep meaning for us. After this tragic day, the Jewish community came together as one. We supported one another and made sure people understood the stories of those lost or still held in captivity. For me, October 7th was a moment when I realized just how connected I am to Jewish history. It strengthened my Jewish identity and made me realize I'm part of something bigger than just myself. Our goal is to further educate others and reflect on the past. We choose to honor the day not only with resemblance but with purpose, by coming together for an event that honors unity, understanding, and resilience. To us, October 7th is not just a day in history. It is a reminder of who we are, what we've overcome, and how important it is to stand together as Jews and as a community. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben.
As we approach the second anniversary of October 7th, the weight of that day is still very present for the Jewish community here in town. But what has made it easier is knowing that this town has stood with us. Your actions have been kind and thoughtful, and you've taken real steps to make sure the Jewish community feels like we have a home here. The annual vigil has provided a space to mourn and find comfort in community. Lowering the flags to half-mast was a powerful sign of solidarity. The Holocaust Remembrance Ceremony is a reminder that the lessons of history must never be forgotten, and our community ensures hate has no place here. On the second anniversary, these acts of support resonate even more deeply. They remind us that even in difficult times, we have a town that stands by us. For that, we are profoundly grateful, and we look forward to continuing these traditions every year. I am proud to live in a community that chooses to stand with us year after year.
We're also really grateful for the support that the entire town showed us last year when we held an October 7th memorial event at the YCC. We hosted a October 7th survivor named Atir Vinikoff. He spoke to over 200 community members here, many of them Yorktown community members, Jewish and non-Jewish. And it was a really meaningful evening, and we're we would like to share that we're organizing another event on September 29th to commemorate 2 years since October 7th. It'll be again at the YCC at 6:30 p.m. We will have another October 7th survivor speaking. Her name is Oria. She was just beginning her military service, stationed along the Gaza border, defending Israeli communities that live close to the border when the attack took place, and many of the soldiers on her base were massacred. She luckily survived and is now sharing her story, so we're honored to be able to bring her to speak to our community. Also speaking will be an American lone soldier who is a native of Queens, so it will be really special to have him sharing his experiences with us as well. So it's going to be a really meaningful evening of remembrance again, and a chance for everyone in the community to bear witness to both the stories of horror of October 7th and those of resilience and heroism. So we hope for the town board's support again in sharing this with the community. We hope that all of you will join us and ensure that our community and the world doesn't forget what took place on that day. So we have a lot of flyers to share with you, and we're happy to answer any questions about the event or anything else that was shared. So thank you again for your support, and we're glad that we were able to speak with you all.
Don't run away, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So, Talia, I want to tell you how impressed I am with what you're doing, because, and I thank you for your recognition of what we do in the town as well, because it is very important to me. But I have never really shared the story of why I believe in doing this, which is when I was growing up, there were still a lot of Holocaust survivors around. In my grandmother's neighborhood, there were many people with the tattoos from the camps. And one of our local temples was hosting, down in Yonkers, Lincoln Park Jewish Center was hosting some Holocaust survivors. And it became a much bigger program. I was just reminiscing with Millie sitting back behind you guys about it the other day, where they would have 2 speakers a day, except on Friday only 1, but Monday through Friday during Yom HaShoah week, and it was impactful. And like you, Ben, it was something that brought me closer to my Jewish roots. I didn't want to cut Hebrew school after going to that. I wanted to go. I wanted to learn, but it was always a history part for me. Never really I couldn't speak Hebrew, couldn't read Hebrew. My best friend growing up lived in Israel for a few years, so he and I didn't, well, he didn't need to go. I probably needed to go, but he and I would prefer to play baseball, except when it came to the history stuff. So it's so important to have our youth do this, to have that spirit right here, right with you guys, and it's very, very impressive. I know we spoke about the fact that we will also, even though it's before a board meeting, do an October 7th memorial that day, a candlelight vigil, which I feel should happen until every hostage is freed, whether it, alive or their remains returned. So we will do that again. We're in the works on that, and we'll get that announcement out over the website. But thank you guys for being an inspiration, because you really are.
You guys did a great job.
Yeah.
Honestly. Keep up the good work.
I got you locked in for September, so I'll be there. Definitely be there.
And I will say that I think it's even more meaningful being during our holiest week on the Jewish calendar, right after our New Year and right before Yom Kippur. So thank you very much for getting this done and making it happen.
Keep pushing, keep advocating.
We have a lot of flyers also, so we can leave them for anybody to take.
Great.
And I will say thank you to your parents, and all of your parents, but I know they're here, and Grandma's here as well. I don't see Jeff today. but I know he's a great influence too, and that's where these conversations start at home. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing this. Thank you. All right. To follow that up, sorry, Millie, you have to follow them.
Hi, good evening. My name is Millie Jasper. I'm the Executive Director of the Holocaust and Human Rights Education Center in White Plains, and it's an honor to be here, and it's an honor to follow the students. Tough act to follow,
Yes.
I have to say, however, truly an honor. I don't think I was such a strong advocate when I was that age, and it's really beautiful, isn't it? And that's what Yorktown grows. Yorktown grows strong students and strong advocates. The Holocaust and Human Rights Education Center has been around since 1992, and for those of you who come to the Yom HaShoah, Day of Remembrance commemorations in April, we're the ones that bring the Holocaust survivors. It's one of the most moving things that happens in this room. And we believe in commemoration, which is why we do that every year. And with us, you know, there's other commemorations throughout the year. However, what I want to talk to you about is the possibility of considering bringing in programming to Yorktown. This is really a beautiful place to be. I've personally lived here 21 years. One of my children did go through the Yorktown school system, and she was probably the only Chinese kid in her grade. And she was definitely the only Jewish Chinese kid in her grade. But, you know, she belonged, and we were always grateful to Yorktown for that. So this is just some ideas that I jotted down, and I have a few things to mention. I won't take too long. I will say, since I've lived here, there's been anti-Semitic incidences reported every single year. It's usually a student or two or three or four who does something, and it usually involves a swastika, and it often involves a swastika in the bathroom. Why? Because that's where there aren't any video. They get caught or they don't get caught. And our view is that, and I mentioned this at one of the press conferences, our view is that students do this for the most part out of ignorance, not malice. And although some people may say, no, they know, they learn from the house, we don't believe that. We really don't. And what we have a reactive program, which is to take the kids into our office 5 hours with a parent, and let's say you have a kid who, well, here's an example. I mean, there was a case where a kid told the other kids in the chat room, all you Jews should go back to Auschwitz. Okay. So we get the kid and we say, do you know what Auschwitz is? You know, I mean, do you know what a Jew is? And why, you know, tell me, well, why would you say that? And they say this or that. And then we educate them, we talk to them, we have a film, which I actually am going to present to you that we show here, talking about the history of anti-Semitism, really about the Holocaust. And we say, does Nazi ideology fit in with your belief? If yes, say yes. I mean, if this is what you believe, then now that we've taught you and told you what it is, then that's what it is. Every single time a kid says, no, I didn't know. No, I didn't know. Why didn't they know? Because they weren't taught. So we're all about education. We're in the schools. We're in the Yorktown schools. We're in the middle school. We're in the high school. Just next week, or right after Rosh Hashanah, we have meetings, I think, with the superintendent and with one or two of the principals to bring in some more. Yorktown is open to this. So the film I want to suggest to you is a film called Testimony of the Human Spirit. And it's about 6 Holocaust survivors who are Westchester residents. 3 are now gone, 3 still are alive. And it starts with them talking, so it's good for 6th graders and up. It's meant for younger people. So everybody knows that everybody survives. And they tell their stories, and there's a backdrop of the Holocaust. So it's educational in nature. And I want to suggest to you that you consider bringing this film into a large setting and showing it to parents with kids and with moderated discussion after. But I don't really think it should end there. And when I think about it more and more, I think that we should be doing this for a lot of different sectors of the town, different backgrounds. I think we could all use education, and I think this builds empathy. And I wanted you to know that I'm not using the word tolerance because I don't think we should be building tolerance. Tolerance is gritting your teeth and saying, okay, I'll let it go. Empathy is putting yourself in someone else's shoes and looking at life through their eyes. And that's what we want to do. We want people to feel each other's lives, right? That's empathy. So I think if
Paired
we
with
do
understanding.
that. What?
Paired with understanding.
Paired with understanding. Just today I went to a talk and it was about Translate Hate. Stopping anti-Semitism starts with understanding it. It's a very interesting little booklet. But my feeling is if you can say stopping, you can put any word in there, starts with understanding it. It doesn't matter what you put in there. Stopping it starts with understanding it. And I would like to see, and we can help you with this, develop these programs that people can come to at no charge. And we wouldn't charge for the speakers or for the films or for anything. But I think it will do good. I don't see a downside. I don't see a downside. And I think it will open conversation. And conversation is good. So, where do we go from here? I think what I'm here for is to ask you to consider building programs like that people can attend with their students no younger than 6th grade. And opening it up, yes, to the Holocaust, because that's really what I know best, but to other things as well. And keep it going, and let's see if it doesn't build.
My question really is,
Yes.
why 6th grade? I have a 5th grader.
Yes.
And I feel, and I'm also in a practice where I work with a lot of children.
Yeah.
And what they know in 4th and 5th is so extreme from where I was 2-3 years ago when I started my practice.
Yeah.
And I do speak to my child about,
Yeah.
I take away the word hate and go back to like the understanding and try
Yeah.
to promote it from a different point of
Yeah.
view. Because then if he gets upset, I can see why he spews hate. Because
Yes.
a lot of the mean stuff comes because they're disappointed. So how do you get the younger ones to start regulating so that they don't say terrible, horrible things that they might have heard or read and not even understand it's a bad word, but they're using it because it got a reaction.
It got a reaction. Well, that's where good parenting comes in. And so you're speaking to, well, yeah, we all try. And so you're speaking to yours, and that's what it should be. The programs that we have really are not appropriate for younger students. The images are too graphic. And that also brings in another thing which I would like to mention. One of the programs really should be on language and symbols of hate.
Yes.
I challenge everyone in this room to say, could you give me 5 examples of anti-Semitic things that are on gaming sites? I'm not a gamer. So I only know about it because I read about it in books like this and because I learn about it. But the gamers, they know what it is, and they flock to it. And we as adults need to know what it is so that we can talk to our kids. Not only that, but we have to know what the sites are so we can keep our kids off it.
I agree.
Okay?
And it
But
does
anyway,
seep in,
yeah.
but I think there needs to be a stop. And I think the accountability comes from the child and also the adults. Like, we have to take a hard look in the mirror and decide, how are we able to identify what are we doing as adults as we like step into that leadership role as a parent or
Yeah.
guardian.
Mm-hmm.
But I do understand what you're saying, and I think based on what I've seen my son look at social media, even with the restrictions and the time constraints, we've had some really hard conversations, and the things that he's seeing are not so much better than what's on something that's going to make you stop and pause and take 5 seconds to say, wait a second, these people that I'm speaking with have ancestors, and this is what they went through.
Mm-hmm.
Just like we had ancestors, this is what they went through. So I guess I'm in hopes that there is more to come. And as you take off the 6th graders, there are stuff for our intermediate schools because I don't think there's enough hard talk about stuff like this. It's too cushioned for me.
Well, there's a lot out there for younger students. It's not what we do.
Right.
So,
So I'll search for other things
yeah,
too.
yeah. We're experts. It's a little bit older.
We're almost there. I got another year.
Well, Millie, you know how I feel. Just so you know, I know you didn't bring it up, but I did speak with the DA's office, so they're going to arrange a meeting
Thank
so
you.
we could talk about.
Good, thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
No problem. And I also thank you. You mentioned before. I think I found the first two Holocaust survivors on my own before I realized you were a resource there, and it's been great. And please give my best to Betty, because she's been
Betty's the best.
She's amazing in trying to find the survivors, and I always have a fight with her every year, though.
Everybody fights with her.
If she says
You're
"I
not
don't-"
special.
She says, "I don't know." Yeah, she says, "I don't know if this is the speaker you want," and I have to remind her every year that, and this is the important thing. And I tell you, bringing speakers in, it's every story is its own story,
Yeah, it's worth listening to.
and you learn from every objective. And I remember the two Peters that I had from Budapest, and it was interesting because last year in December, my wife and I went to Budapest, and I was able to relate to a lot of. Was it Peter S. that lived in the ghettos in Budapest, and we went there. We went to where they all were. We went to the temples. We went to the wall where the shoes are.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, being able to get there and visualize it was just amazing. And but we had two Peters, both from Budapest, both with totally different stories. One who was survived in the ghettos, one who was sent to Auschwitz because he had a twin and was experimented on. And it's every story is worth it. And I thank you, because I know we don't have much more time with our survivors. And it's I'm so glad that your services are out there. Can you let people know how to get in touch with you, and also if people want to, and I know that's not what this is about, but if people want to donate to programs like this because they feel they're important?
Well, sure. It's the Holocaust and Human Rights Education Center in White Plains. If you were to Google Holocaust, it'll come right up, or Holocaust White Plains, it comes right up. We're the only game in town. So,
You know what I see? I see a perfect opportunity for both groups that spoke already. One group that has the resources and one group that has direct access to the schools. I think I see a partnership between the two of you that would really, I'm serious. I mean, who better than advocates that are of age in the school system, other seniors, other freshmen, other juniors that are advocating for your programs as well. And you could help them because they may not have your resources. I mean, as high school students, who would think they would, right? And so I think I see a partnership here that would work. I'm serious.
And I must, and I'll say for Dr. Hatter, I believe he's been very responsive to our students. He's been very responsive to me. We've had the conversations for quite a few years about this as things pop up, and what can we do? And they do things in the school, and they've really been very, very good in their partnership, and as well as Lakeland as well. From you told me, I haven't spoken to Dr. Gagliardi about it yet, but that's Dr. Hatter's been phenomenal, and I guess having the students that he does that helps him make it look that much better.
Millie, I'd like to thank you for everything you're doing. I'd like to maybe focus on the work you're doing with anti-Semitism, because, as you said, unfortunately, Yorktown has these issues. Would it be possible, would it be worthwhile to have the town sponsor a meeting, possibly on a Saturday, so that you could get families and children and just talk about anti-Semitism and explain to people? you mentioned gaming. That would certainly be a new world to me, where they're
It's
finding
a whole new world.
they're finding these things. But I think that possibly this is something that the town could do in conjunction with you and tie it in to the tax. And we've had two fairly recently. So it is a very topical kind of
Yeah.
an issue that could bring in with your resources.
Well, anti-Semitism
idea.
is a very good idea, and we actually have two specific presentations that we make that speak directly to it. One is the history of anti-Semitism in 1 hour from the Middle Ages to present. It is brilliant, and I've watched it a few times, and I learn something every time I do. And the other is Symbols of Hate and Language of Hate. And that brings in more than anti-Semitism, and it brings in things you thought you knew you don't know. And those are very well received, and we do present them specifically around the county. So they do work. And these, by the way, are appropriate for what? 6th grade and older. So, yeah.
If you could work with the supervisor and try to schedule, again, a Saturday meeting. I think
I think a Saturday might be disrespectful to run a Judaic
well,
anti-Semitism.
certainly
I
not
appreciate the Saturday, but I would actually be bringing in people that work for me, and they try not to work
Okay,
on weekends. So
as a Reformed Jew, I don't think about that. But then whether it's a Sunday or some other time, I don't know, but certainly not in the evening.
I'm sure it could work. I'm sure it could work out.
But
Yeah,
we can
and
work
I
something out.
did I mention, because I might have gotten back off track, the stage we've spoken to, and we probably can
Do something there?
do the movie there.
Yeah, I think would be good. I think if people come, they'll say, "Ooh, what's next?"
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Anyone
There's
else?
work to be done.
There's a lot of
There's
work to be done.
unfortunately.
And bless you for stepping in, doing it. I know the commitment. We speak all the time on it, and it's once again inspirational.
Thank you very
And,
much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. Thanks, Millie.
Okay, Nezreen.
I thought we were moving it to the end. She's like, oh, no, you're not.
She's up like
There'll be a lot of people upset in the building department if she's up much later.
Hi everyone, I'm Nisreen Corey. I work in the building department. You guys probably all see me or know me or in some way or form.
Hold on one
So I
second.
came-
Have a good night, all. Thank you. Appreciate
care.
you. Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank
Great.
you. Sorry.
Okay, so I'm here to talk about a project I've been working on in the building department. I'm trying to get online applications in for homeowners, contractors. We've done a lot of work in the building department. Everything's scanned in. We're all online. We can take online payments now, but now I'm just trying to get onto the next level with this new program with Municity 6. And there's a program called City Squared. So, like, again, you could log in, register, pick the town, and then you can pick, like, the parcel and apply for a building permit, a plumbing permit. Realtors can go on there and get a parcel history. If they want to get any open permits, violations on a property, they can just look it up without calling us or emailing us every time, 100 times a day. They can just do it themselves. So I have a little quick slideshow, shows you kind of how it works.
Sure.
So I'm
And
just gonna-
if I may, while you
Yep.
get set up, this is part of what one of the things as a supervisor I've been trying to accomplish is to make it easier for our taxpayers to be able to get in. So you want to do a renovation, you need to do something, and be able to not have to rely on getting to town hall. You could do this. You could get most of your stuff done at home. And I want to thank you and the entire building department, because I know if you're pulled away from something working on this, everyone steps up to fill in, and
sure.
But this is along with the new website that's coming and a whole bunch of great technological advances.
So theoretically, you could submit your application.
Yeah, so many applications are very easy, like a plumbing permit or for an oil tank, or if you're doing your roof to your house. Instead of like coming in, with all the stuff, you just go online, you log in, fill out the application, the roof, you put in the contractor, upload your insurances, and then specs of the shingles, whatever it is, and then you submit it. We get a alert on our Municity that we have an application online pending. We can review the application, see all the uploaded documents, check the insurances, make sure everybody's current, and we can approve them right there and then issue them.
That's
So,
huge.
you know, it's
great.
easy, it's quick. You know, emergencies, people just, you know, they don't have to wait. Or people can't come into the building department or mail in applications. It's just a quicker, you know, everybody wants fast. So, you know, obviously if it's an addition or it's a new commercial building, it's not going to
No,
be
I
that quickly. You will still need paper plans to review, but you can at least start the process. So this is not playing though. So.
Is this a municity add-on that we already have or that we have to purchase?
So yeah, this is part, City Squared is part of the program that we are already paying for. It was already
We already have
incorporated,
it.
yeah, so. Okay, so that website's not working, but I'm gonna show you how it works. If you look at the screen, it kind of looks like, I don't know why it's doing this. Hold on one second, sorry. Maybe I have to do this.
Keep in mind that this public-facing site will
Oh, here it
communicate
is.
with the M5 site that you are already using for internal
this is it.
information. When using Municity
Sorry, I gotta
Connect
rewind
/
it.
City Squared, site users will first need to log
Okay, sorry, here we go.
to your Municity Connect training. Some users also know this portal as City Squared. Since that's the name of the site users must navigate to in order to use this portal. Before we dive into the municipal side of Municity Connect / City Squared, let's take a look at the public user experience. Keep in mind that this public-facing side will communicate with the M5 site that you are already using for internal information. When using Municity Connect / City Squared, site users will first need to log in or register by clicking here. As an internal user, if using the portal for personal applications or permits, be sure to use a different email than your municipal email address. Using your work email address as a constituent can interfere with how the system works and lead to problems within the system. If users would prefer to preview application or permit types before signing in, they're able to do that. But as soon as one is selected, the login screen will appear and will not let them proceed until they have logged in or registered. If the user is just looking to research a property, they will not need to register or log in for that process. Sometimes a user will not be able to complete an application in a single session. In this instance, users will save this application as a draft so they can return to it later. We'll revisit this topic in the Using Dashboards video, but it is imperative that as an internal user, you do not do anything with an application with a status of draft. Doing so will interrupt the process of the application moving forward and will create multiple lingering consequences. When a constituent would like to return to this draft, they can select Dashboard or the house-shaped icon to revisit any of their specific items. Dashboard looks and acts different from the dashboards you will be utilizing in Municity 5. As previously mentioned, constituents can use Municity Connect / City Squared to research parcels. The information available for the constituents is configured as part of the internal build process. Individual media can be marked as public or private in Municity 5 to determine what media can be seen within the search for security of sensitive documents. Constituents can perform this search by entering an address or an SBL, or by utilizing the Map GIS feature. They can also use this feature to get abutter information or create a service request if these are features that were configured during your Municity Connect / City Squared build. Another feature constituents can utilize via Municity Connect / City Squared if it has been configured by your build team and has a payment processor associated with it is viewing and paying fees. Constituents can access this through their dashboard section, the button that looks like a house, or by clicking the Pay Fees button in the Municity Connect / City Squared sidebar. Now that we have explored the constituent experience of Municity Connect / City Squared, Let's dive into the internal user experience.
Okay, so that's pretty much it. Like I said, once you register, and you have to register before you could apply for the permit. You have to, the homeowner is always on there as a contact. And if you're the contractor, you do have to put your information in. You can search for your information. If you're a contact in our system, say you're, I don't know, Goldberg Plumbing. If you just start typing in Goldberg, it'll pop up, you select it, and then you add it and you set yourself up as the contractor.
So what happens if I own my property in an entity or trust?
So again, you could do it yourself, but you have to upload a CE 200 and the affidavit. Same thing that we would request if you were coming
That's
in.
for protection as well.
Exactly,
So that
right. So if
Bob
you're
can't file a permit
right, if you're
against my
doing the
house.
roof yourself and you want to be the contractor, you can definitely do that. But you have to just fill out the affidavit of exemption. It has to be notarized, upload it, and the CE 200.
What you would normally do.
Same thing.
Those,
Same thing. You
those
just
forms, are they available for the homeowner if they're doing it themselves on the website?
well, if you go to yorktownny.gov, all those forms are there. The affidavits are there. The CE 200s are there. So.
A question that kind of goes beyond this Munis-CC Square, but it came up when somebody got their school tax bill. You said you can pay online.
Okay.
Can you pay by credit card?
So this City Squared uses a different processor, so I couldn't connect it because we just got GovPay, so we weren't going to pay all that money to use their processor. So what we're doing before you apply, the final page, it'll say a link will be sent to you for a credit card payment. We will email you the link, then you can pay online through credit card. Yes.
Do you know what the processing fee is?
3%. Everything's 3%.
Usually 3 or 4%.
It's
Amex is
3%. Every credit card transaction we taken is 3%.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
And that's paid by the person.
by the person. Yeah.
The reason I bring it up, and I'm sorry, it's kind of off topic, but
Right.
it's related to credit card payments, is somebody emailed me the second year in a row, why does Yorktown charge 3% on credit card payments when Cortland is 1 point something percent?
I've never heard of one
I'm
point
not in
something
charge
percent.
of that, so I don't.
The reason that
Everywhere you go to the bagel shop, you pay 3%.
Yeah.
So it's like.
yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah,
You know
I
what I
think
mean.
the answer that Barbara gave me, and this maybe still applies, but when the resident asked me that last year, and I asked Barbara, our tax receiver, she said Cortland was one of the earliest municipalities that started accepting credit card, and they just got a good deal. Was the answer?
The other
I'm just
Yeah.
submitting this information if some people are wondering, like this one resident has asked me 2 years in a row.
The other way it could possibly, why she's getting the 1.5% is the way credit cards work is like something like Square. They charge you a fixed percentage. They charge 3% or whatever it is. But most credit card processors, depending on the credit card you're using, for example, Councilman Murphy said that if you're using Amex, it's 4% because Amex back charges the vendor more to accept their card. You also have cards that are vanilla cards. What is a vanilla card? A vanilla card is a card that doesn't have frills on it, so you don't get points. So those kind of cards are 1% or 2%. It is the most complicated matrix of charges. If you have this card and it doesn't do this, and if you don't have that, and if it's a debit, it might be less.
And
So
we
she
did-
might have used a vanilla card that was 1.5%. You understand? So it's very complicated. Most places don't have a fixed rate. Things are changing now where everybody's just charging 3%. So what a credit card company will do is they'll lose a little money if you take an Amex, but they'll make more money if you use a debit card.
Right.
And it's just you can't really go by that. That's probably the right answer for her. I would have to talk to Cortland, which
Right.
I just passed that information on, and if anybody else was concerned about why this is charging 3%, this discussion has explained it to people who are upset about that.
It's long overdue.
Yes, we're
Thank
excited.
you very much
Yes.
for doing this. This is very
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Nazreen, I thank you for your work,
No
but I'm
problem.
Thank
gonna
you.
hold your feet to the fire. When are we gonna see this?
So we're gonna do phase 3. We're in phase 3 now. So now they're building out all the stuff that we had worked together. What should be private? What should the public see? What should they not see? You don't want to give everyone's but they will be able to see any open permits, violations. You could also create inspections online. If you want to, the contractors want to get a final or framing, they can go on, request it, we'll get the alert and schedule for them online.
That's
So that's another feature.
So when will this be available?
When will
for
it be
the
Like I
live?
said, 2-3 months by January for
Okay.
sure. But we got to test it out, see what changes we have to make before we go live.
So you brought up an
I-
interesting question, in my mind at least, because I just went through it with
Right.
the plumbing plumbing permit to take out an oil tank, and there were things that even my person who does the excavation work didn't really know.
Right.
So when a permit is put in for an oil tank, will there be a list of, hey, to close this permit?
Yes,
You wanna-
so they will have on the permit that they'll need the scrap ticket or the manifest report. There's also a comment section where you can say they're missing something or something's expired. I can comment on the application. They'll get an email with my comment, and we can kind of talk back and forth to get the right documents in before we can close it out. So it'll be good communication back and forth.
Does the homeowner know, the typical homeowner know, when a permit is needed?
Well, a
I-
lot of
I
people
think
ask
don't
all the
know.
time. I always say just call just in case, because people don't know. I think I sent out a list one time to the new residents, and
Yep.
we did something.
I
Remember
remember that.
that?
Like a
Yeah,
little,
a little like checklist.
Yeah, a little
So
card
like
list.
just in general, so everybody knows, like roofs always need permits. Siding does not need a permit. Window replacement does not need a permit, but if it's the same size, or exact replacement, it does not need it. If you're changing the size of a window, then you will, because then framing's involved. Anything mechanical, generators, boilers, hot water heaters, those all need plumbing permits. HVAC needs, if you update your kitchen, even if you're just changing a counter or a granite, it's a kitchen, it's a building application. Bathroom replacements, but if you're just painting and changing carpeting to hardwood, no, you don't need anything like that. But
And every
I
time
always
you
say
take out a
just
permit,
call.
it
I always
needs
say
to be closed.
yeah, oil tanks, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and always close your permits
Yeah,
because
there's
then they
always this
expire, and then we have issues that way. So
I think the record I had was a permit that was open from the 20s or 30s.
yeah, we have a lot of open
that I had
permits. We're
helped
trying to go
someone with.
through them all, but little by little, we'll get there.
It is interesting going on those
It
inspections.
is. We
though.
have a lot of stuff from the 30s open.
Yeah.
Perhaps put something on your website as to what needs a permit and what doesn't need a permit
Yeah,
might be helpful.
I mean, for the most part, people, obviously additions, renovations,
I get questions like that all the time. You guys
Yeah.
are a great resource. I just call you guys. I'm
yeah,
like,
and
if I don't know
they
something,
call
I
and they're
call
like,
you
oh,
guys. and-
fences are new ones. Fences do need permits now too, only because of the
Yeah.
issues with the neighbors. So we do require them now.
Well, I got to tell you, with this and a lot of the other technological upgrades that we've done in the past couple of years, even our phone system,
Yeah.
it used to cost us more money to transfer a call from one building to another. That
Right,
they
now
stopped
we
doing
can
that.
Go to planning, we can call.
Now you
right
could
away.
transfer anywhere in the town with between our buildings and stuff. So
Yeah.
a lot of good stuff, a lot of tech upgrades to help our residents. So thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
Well, there's one other thing just for the public. That button you had out there, the maps and the GIS.
Yeah, you can zoom into a property. If you don't know an address or something, you can actually go into Allen Avenue, zoom in, and this is it. Select that
Now,
property.
Is that information can be used through multiple departments? Engineering, is it
So,
linked yet?
Engineering is supposed to be using Municity, but they haven't really
I get
got
it.
into it yet. But once they do, they can definitely do this. Planning was going to do it, but I think planning went on a different route. So it's really just us.
Yeah.
The assessors,
For now,
got log in and they could all
Well,
see
well,
what we have, but
and just to clarify that though, some of the programs don't work.
don't work for planning. But
right.
engineering, I think, is getting on board soon.
Yeah.
I think they are.
Yeah.
So.
The old database isn't ported over, can't be ported over
No, all the old stuff did get transferred over, so nothing got lost. Yeah.
for you guys, but other
No,
departments.
everything is there. Once they change and transition, they will get all the old legacy files and it'll all be converted.
So the map was a GIS. I didn't catch.
GIS
so,
map, yeah.
So everyone knows with GIS, if you have like, oh, I think my neighbor put their fence on my yard, you could actually look and it will give you.
Aero
Survey.
view on top. You can do it like
Yeah. You could do a bird's eye view of your property and know where all of your
and
borders
then if you
are.
scroll, there's like a year until you can see if you like 2025, 2020, 2019. You can see
Right.
how the property's changed over from
Yep.
the aerial view.
And I always look for the flag.
Yeah.
I'm like, where'd that flag go?
And you can see where your town right away.
Property line.
Yeah,
and,
where your town right away is as well.
Yes.
All righty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nez.
Great job. I will still be calling you.
All right. Do we have Kathy Quinn here? I haven't seen her.
I haven't seen her, no.
Diana, why don't you take over for her?
So, Support Connections annual walk will be Sunday, October 5th at FDR Park. The pre-walk is at 9 o'clock, and the walk always starts promptly at 10 o'clock. And any support that you can come out and give is greatly appreciated because they can't do what they do without you. Thank you.
Yes, and I give kudos to you and Dave serving on the board with them. They had just had a beautiful golf outing at drawing a blank on the name. Hollowbrook, thank you. And I want to say Englebrook for some reason, but Hollowbrook and Cal and I went to the dinner there. Had a great time, and very happy to support Connection.
79, my first time out this year.
That's
Really?
awesome.
79 on the front nine. Oh wow!
Wow.
What are you, a scratch golfer?
No, but my husband's very good.
All right.
I was just taking care.
Well, no one who sees Cal and I on the golf course mistake us for golfers.
Yeah.
So,
I can attest to that.
all right, Kathy Giblin. You're here for Kathy? All right.
Okay.
Hey, Liz.
So
How
you're
are
going to
you?
be Kathy and Liz.
I'm going to be Kathy and Liz.
All right.
So I have some, just wanted you to have copies of what I was going to be talking about.
Thank you.
Can't you come prepared, Liz? Can't you come prepared?
Always.
She's never prepared.
Thank you.
Hey, we could take these and put them in like on the budget.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'm Liz Talbert. I'm the executive director at the Alliance for Safe Kids. And I have a few events that I'd like to give you some information about and then talk to you about a resource that ASK has developed over the past year. So first, and thank you, Sergio, for mentioning the Drug Epidemic Awareness Memorial event that is happening on Thursday, September 25th at 6 p.m. At the Drug Epidemic Awareness Memorial Fence. And for those of you who may not know where the fence is located in the community, it is just to the left of Town Hall. It's behind Patriot Skate Park. I just want to give you a little bit of information about the fence. A community member suffered a great loss. She lost her son to a drug overdose. And I would say through her healing, there was a fence in Walden, New York that she had seen. And she brought it to Supervisor Slater at the time, the idea, and felt that there should be some sort of awareness, some sort of memorial, a permanent memorial here in Yorktown. So the community really rallied behind her, and then Supervisor Diana was involved with it. But there were businesses. Sergio, remember you got Salem Fence to donate the fence. The YAC donated a bench so that when people are visiting the fence, they can, just sit and have a quiet moment. I helped a lot during the process, and we worked very closely with the Parks Department too. So it was really, everyone was like really behind this and so supportive. So at the fence, people who have, if someone has lost someone to a drug overdose, they can buy a lock and have the person's name engraved on it or their birth date, whatever they want, and they then add it to that fence. There, at the fence, you can see that there's a sign at the fence with a QR code that I developed and maintain that connects. If someone just goes there and scans the QR code, they're going to be brought to a resource guide that will give them more information about the fence, how to add a lock to the fence, how to, and they'll also be connected to resources on treatment and recovery and mental health and wellness.
And that's something that we continually update. So the memorial event is going to be held, as I said, on the 25th at 6 p.m. We're going to have some speakers there, and then they're going to read the names of all of the people who have locks there. If anyone in the community has someone in their life that they would like to be remembered, and they do not have a lock on the fence, they may certainly they may reach out to me. I do have some flyers in the back which has another email on it, but if it's easier just to email Liz at Alliance for Safe Kids, that's fine, and I'll convey the information. But this is going to be a very thoughtful event in remembering the lives that have been lost, and many of them are very young lives, and that's hard. But I'll tell you that I know some people within the community that really do spend a lot of time visiting the fence because they feel like that's where they're, connecting with their loved one.
Liz, is that a .org for Alliance for Safe Kids or .com?
.org. The next event that you also mentioned, Sergio, which I'm so grateful for, is the 11th annual Run for Recovery. And so, yes, it is. We are celebrating recovery in the month of September. And the Run for Recovery is being held on Saturday, September 27th at 9 a.m. FDR Park in Lot 1. The Run for Recovery benefits 4 partner organizations: the Alliance for Safe Kids, Drug Crisis in Our Backyard, Search for Change, and another organization called Run for Recovery. And our missions are all aligned in such that we all support substance misuse prevention, treatment, recovery, and everyone having good mental health. So this is a very important, it's a very important fundraising effort for us because the Alliance for Safe Kids has a very limited budget, and we work on a shoestring. And I'm the sole employee. And we're also the fiscal sponsor for Drug Crisis in Our Backyard. Mm-hmm. And, it's so important to us to help Drug Crisis in Our Backyard keep the free programs that they offer. They offer a monthly free Narcan training. They have a family support group called the Spotlight Family Support Group. They meet twice a week on Zoom, every week. They have a free yoga class on Zoom. Mm-hmm. It's Yoga for Resilience. And they are always on call should anyone need to be connected to treatment and resources. And this is all done for free. So that's why it's so important that we really need support for this event so we can continue these things. We also are going to have the Save a Life Wellness Fair like we did last year. So we had some really great organizations come out, and it was wonderful for the people who were there at the run, and it was also wonderful for them to do some networking. So we're hoping to have a robust Save a Life Wellness Fair again. So I would ask that you consider registering, creating a team, or even just supporting the Ask team. I have some flyers in the back, but I left a bunch of these cards that have the QR code on it that links right to the event webpage. Any questions?
Liz, you do a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, you're incredible.
Oh, please.
You know anybody on the Parks and Rec Commission?
Yeah, he's at football practice right now.
Yes, he is.
No one knows.
Standing with his arms crossed.
Her husband volunteers on the Parks and Rec Commission.
Oh, never made that connection.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's mine.
He also retired as the football commissioner, but he's on the field.
He retired as the football commissioner, but he's coaching one team or helping coach one team.
And he's got a very prominent
something
stance.
about Taconic Youth Football
Yes.
Leagues. I don't know. I can't keep up.
Well, thank you for stretching so far.
Yeah. I just always say, have so much fun whenever he walks out the door to whatever meeting or game he's going to.
Good human.
So I mentioned the Save a Life Wellness Fair that will be held at the Run for Recovery. We also have a virtual Save a Life Wellness Fair. And, we kind of rolled it out slowly last year after the Run for Recovery. But just to give you a little bit of backstory on that, for many years we held Save a Life forums. And at those forums, we would always have an exhibit hall. And, you know, it was packed with such great resources that the community could connect to that day. But then it was done. So then a few years in, we thought, okay, how can we take these resources and put them somewhere so that, you know, the community will have access to them? So then we started printing the community resource guide that had those resources and much, much more. But, you know, that was a costly venture. Things changed with Ask when our federal funding expired. We had to really, you know, rethink how we were doing things. And also, once that book was printed, that was it until next year. So, you know, we were really looking around at how we could come up with something, a tool that we would still connect the community to all of these important resources, but that I would have the opportunity to edit and you know, keep live throughout the year. So the virtual Save a Life Wellness Fair came to be, and I have cards in the back that have the QR code on it that allows you to access it. It's a website and an app. And it's really easy to use. It has a wonderful welcome video that kind of just walks you through it. And so once you're there, it is set up like an exhibit hall. Like, for instance, the Alliance for Safe Kids has a booth. And if you click on our booth, you can be linked to our website, to our social media pages. You'll read what our mission is. And there could be informational flyers or videos. And when you see those other extras, like the flyers or the videos, you can add those to your toolbox, and then you can either email it to a friend, a family member, or yourself, so you always have that information. It's a great resource. It's free to use. I will say, when we were setting it up, there was an awful lot of analytics that I said, no, we can't, because I had to forego it, because I wanted people to be able to just open up the app and not have to set up an account or share their email, because if someone needs resources, they need resources, and, you know, they don't.
And they deserve privacy.
Exactly.
They want privacy, yeah.
Exactly. So, you know, I am able to collect a little bit of information, like what booths are being visited, you know, how often, that kind of thing, and that's fine, because it was far more important, as I said, to get the information out to the individuals. And I truly believe, you know, Ask's mission is to connect the community to all of these resources on substance misuse prevention, treatment, recovery, youth mental health, as well as opportunities for thoughtful service. And this tool is a sustainable way for us to do that.
That's great.
Thank you, Liz.
I look forward to signing up again.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Liz.
You know, Liz,
Lots of
it's a reminder today about the fact that, you know, when we're sitting up here, it's not just about roads, sewers, you know, all the mundane, non-sexy things, as Susan put it, but being there for our community, our neighbors. I know when Kathy's not here, but, like, you know, being over the house when something tragic happens, being able to, you know, being there for people.
Kathy wasn't able to be here tonight because
You have to come to the microphone, because Tom's going to yell at you.
Oh, no. That's why I'm yelling at you again today.
Again today.
He's a grouch. Don't worry. We know that. We know it.
No. I was being silly. Kathy Giblin, who works very closely in maintaining the fence, and they have a Facebook group. She's actually traveling to Florida first thing tomorrow morning for a fentanyl walk. So that's why, you know, she really wanted to be here, but that
I know.
was, yeah.
Yeah, Carol told me she was going to be here. And
Yeah.
Yeah, she.
Actually, Carol was trying to get here too, but I haven't seen her come in yet.
And
So-
I just want to mention something else, because we talked about the prescription drug drop-off that we had today. And I just want to remind everyone that unit is available
24/7.
24/7, 365. So
Get it out of your house.
I think actually one Christmas morning, Carol and I went over to drop off some stuff that we felt was very important to get out of the house. So.
And,
Yeah.
and there are, I mean, the statistics are alarming when you find out that sometimes the first time that kids experiment with prescription medication
One
is
pill
because
can
it's
kill.
found in
Yeah.
their medicine cabinet, their grandparents, the neighbors, you know, so it's very important to, if you're not using that medication anymore, get rid of it safely.
Expired medications are dangerous. leaving them around when kids are in the house, especially teenagers. And also, when a lot of something people don't think about, when you put your house on the market, you should take all your medications and put them somewhere safe, locked up, because people literally go look at houses to try to steal
Yeah, right.
medications. So
But the whole, often with this stuff, it only takes one experiment, and then you're hooked. You know, your body chemically changes, and
or
Well,
worse.
there's
that's all
also-
it takes.
And you
For
know,
a lot of people, it's all it takes. One time.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the illicit drugs that kids are able to buy online on social media, $20 to $40 for a Xanax that could be counterfeit. And
It's
the
crazy.
DEA has a campaign called "One Pill Can Kill" because one pill can kill if
Yeah.
it has fentanyl in it. Yeah, so it's important. I would really encourage everyone to sign up for the Alliance for Safe Kids email. I only send one out a month. You will not be bombarded, but you can go to our website, allianceforsafekids.org, because any member of the community needs to receive that information. We share. I have a section on fentanyl awareness. We share upcoming free webinars and trainings and information from Drug Crisis in Our Backyard, along with some other topics, that are timely. So it's worth receiving that information once a month.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you, Liz.
I'm signing up right now, Liz.
All right, that covers that. We will now open the floor for public comment. Please remember you have a 3-minute limit. You do not have to wait for courtesy of the floor. If you have an issue, anyone on the board, you can find our email and/or phone number on the website, and you could come up to our office at any time. Although today I was hanging out with Liz for a couple of hours where we were talking to residents at the Shed the Meds. But if I'm not there, someone will take a message and I will get back. Please introduce yourself when you come to the mic.
Sure. Alon Gilbert, former town judge, former supervisor. And I just wanted to indicate I wasn't really planning on speaking tonight, but I was really inspired by Talia and her group, and Millie Jasper, and Ed, even you, when you talked about the concept of, growing up in a neighborhood where people had tattoos, and that generation is dying off. I also am strongly in favor of the idea that Millie talked about in terms of education. That really, education is the antidote, I believe, to some of the hatred in this country. And it may be ancient history to some. I was the town judge here from 2007 to 2011. But while I presided as town judge, there was an incident of a desecration of a shul in Mohegan Lake. I presided over that. Felt very strongly about it. Obviously, for both my own faith, but also the fact that my dad was a liberator of Dachau, and it had very strong ramifications with me. And actually, during the sentence of the kids, I had arranged to have the front row filled with veterans of World War II at the time, just so that the kids understood the significance. And my punishment was more of a community service and sending the kids to the Holocaust Museum. Again, education, education, education. I'm also inspired by Millie. I've spoken with her, getting back to the fact that generations are dying off, and Millie now is seeking family members of survivors to make presentations, and she approached me because she heard I was the son of a liberator, and they have no individuals that she was aware of that were her sons or the next generation of liberators. And she's asked me, and she's honored me with the idea of participating in her program, and I very much look forward to it. I'm going to just simply state that people can look at the Chabad website and find the video of a survivor who attended my dad's Shiva. And we talked about my dad's experience and the survivor's experience, and it's an incredibly moving event. And I would suggest if people go to YouTube or the Chabad website, they can see that there. Thank you.
Thanks, Lonnie.
Evening, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Kevin Burns, 25-year resident of Yorktown, and I'm here tonight in my capacity as co-chair of the Yorktown Republican Committee, and I am joined by my counterpart in the Yorktown Democrat Committee, Peter Cleary.
Hi, Peter.
Like most everyone here, I was horrified by the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I accidentally clicked on a link to the video, and despite seeing a lot in my 25 years in the NYPD, this video deeply disturbed me. Aside from the graphic details of the shooting, I was also disturbed by the fact that Charlie was killed for exercising his First Amendment rights, expressing his political opinions, and trying to persuade others to his point of view by the time-honored tradition of civil debate. Today I reached out to Peter, and we discussed what, if anything, we could do on a local level to tone down the rhetoric. We wholeheartedly agree that political violence has no place in this town, this county, this state, or this country, whether it is the 2 assassination attempts on President Trump, the assassination of Minnesota House of Representatives Speaker Melissa Hortman, or the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Mr. Cleary and I are currently in discussions to hold a combined Yorktown Republican Committee and Yorktown Democrat Committee candlelight vigil for the victims of political violence. While it's not finalized, we're looking at this Sunday, September 21st at 7 p.m. at the gazebo at Jack DeVito Field. The 2 committees may disagree on policy issues, and we do disagree, and that is perfectly fine. But make no mistake, the Republican and Democrat committees stand united in condemning this type of violence. It must stop now. The vigil will be open to all, and I hope to see everyone there. Do you have anything to say to it?
Thank you, Kevin, and thanks for the call today.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it. The Yorktown Democratic Committee is interested in participating in a vigil that denounces violence. I think it's something that we can all agree on. Politically based violence is something that we all must condemn. What we can't agree to is having elected officials speak at this event. Politicians got us largely into this problem. They should not have a seat at this table. We believe, the Yorktown Democratic Committee believes, that our faith-based leaders here in Yorktown are uniquely suited for this job of bringing us together and helping us to heal. So I hope that can be part of how we move forward together.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mark Lieberman, Yorktown resident, and I think that's great that the 2 chairs are getting together to do this. Okay, so because we are in the evacuation zone for Indian Point, and the subject hasn't come up at our own town board meetings to my knowledge, I thought I would give a quick summary of Holtec's proposal to consider rebuilding the nuclear plant based on a briefing I received yesterday. Holtec has floated the idea that it could rebuild Indian Point along with an artificial intelligence data center as its primary benefactor. If not rebuild the existing facility, they would consider installing what's termed small advanced nuclear reactors at the Indian Point site. According to the briefing, the Indian Point reactors and steam generators have already been scavenged for parts to prop up other aged reactors still in operation around the state. The plant is so old that the parts are not manufactured any longer, and scavenging is the only option, and small advanced nuclear reactors have not yet been built and proven. Indian Point already holds over 40 years of irradiated spent fuel and will for the foreseeable future, as there's no repository available. Indian Point sits atop 3 high-pressure fracked gas pipelines that make up the Algonquin gas transmission system, And a side note is I suggest, which I've brought up before, that we should get a briefing on the potential upgrade to that pipeline known as Project Maple, since it runs right through Yorktown. The area around Indian Point is already home to Westchester's largest industrial air polluter, the Wheelabrator Wind Waste Trash Incinerator that burns our garbage. A BASF chemical plant, the Certainty gypsum plant, and the pipeline, as well as a sewage treatment plant. Adding more nuclear infrastructure on top of these pollution sources would be unkind, to say the least. Nuclear power plants do not fit well in highly populated areas such as ours, and they are known terrorist targets. In my opinion, this is a very bad idea. Thank you.
Mark, before you leave, since I need it for the microphone, who was the briefing by?
Susan Van Dolsen.
Susan Van Dolsen? And with what group is she?
I don't remember the exact name of the group, but she led the effort to get the nuclear plant decommissioned in the first place. And she led the effort to make it illegal for Holtec to dump radiated water into the Hudson River.
Thank you.
Good evening, Jay Kopstein. I didn't plan to speak this evening until Mark got up. I'm going to delay this. All right, first, we all have to agree our electric bills are too high, whether NYSEG or Con Ed. Indian Point did produce between 2,000 and 2,200 megawatts of energy, 2.2 gigawatts to 2 gigawatts. It was prematurely coerced into closure by a cabal of Democrats. There was no plan to replace that energy. Why has it gone up? Well, we're using more fossil fuels now than we used before because of that. Indian Point provided 25% of New York City's power, or 12% of New York State's power. The supply and demand issue, and it's an ISO issue because all of the ISOs bid against one another for power. Even Governor Hochul has acknowledged it. She wants to put a 1 gigawatt new nuclear plant up with 9 Mile Island. I think with 3 of them working up there now. She wants a 4th, and she wants the 5th at Fort Drum. So even she's admitting it shouldn't have happened. And Holtec wants $10 billion if they're going to refit Indian Point. Now for the political nonsense. Everybody's got a bill either from Con Ed or NYSEG. Take a quick look at it. You'll see something called an SBC, or a system benefits charge. Wow, what is that? It's a misnomer. It's a New York State imposed fee or tax utilized to fund NYSERDA. If you look at what NYSERDA is, it's nothing more than an Albany-controlled slush fund. If you put in to their search the word equity, they come back and it says, and I'm quoting from their website, NYSERDA is committed to centering equity and climate justice in New York State's policies and initiatives. Need I say more?
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for courtesy of the floor? Up. Thank you, Jen.
Is that mic on, Jan?
I think so.
Yes.
That green light's on.
All right.
Good.
Joanne, sing a chorus of something. Let's make sure it works.
What was that?
Sing something. Let's make sure the mic works.
Sure. What would you like me to sing? Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Perfect.
Okay. Okay, good evening. Joanne Sillett, Yorktown Heights. At the September 2nd meeting, there was some misinformation given. I'd like to set the record straight with indisputable facts. 1. The developer of Navajo, Mr. Divin, quoted from a letter written by Dwayne Simmons, JOC president, and citing flooding in Jefferson Village. He left out the following from the same letter. I quote, "This letter is not a directive, endorsement, or political stance. I am simply one of 1,000 residents of Jefferson Village. Excuse me, one citizen of Yorktown." Close quote. Indisputable fact. At the public hearing, Dwayne also said, "It won't be Yorktown as we know it. It will be this congested place. Property values will start to dip. We start to live a different way." Close quote. On August 14th, the JOC Board of Directors voted yes, unequivocally, to keep up the Stop Navajo signs on our property. There are hundreds of signed petitions from JOC against Navajo. Indisputable fact. Can anyone produce petitions from JOC for Navajo? I'd like to see that. 2, health-related concerns were raised regarding our drinking water. To date, that has not been proven. Jefferson Village is sewered, but we do have a problem with stormwater flooding. If Navajo is built, trees must be removed, creating impervious surfaces. Trees are the natural barrier preventing flooding. Indisputable fact. Water flows downward, not upward, and will find its way into JOC. There are no benefits from Navajo for Jefferson Village. The flooding will only be far worse than before. Number 3, water mitigation is a very convenient distraction from traffic problems that can never be solved. A one-lane road cannot accommodate 700 more cars with no space to expand a state road. Indisputable fact. EMS cannot get to an emergency. Number 4, Mr. Divin mentioned me by name, but not Dwayne Simmons. I wonder why. Why does he think the town board fears me politically? Of the 1,775 petitions against Navajo, hundreds are from JOC, but well over 1,000 came from residents all over Yorktown. Indisputable fact. Perhaps the developer should not focus so much on Jefferson Village, but focus on the rest of Yorktown. And for those of you who heard Navajo is dead, think again and pay very close attention to what this board does after the November election. I thank you for listening.
Thank you, Joanne.
Thank you. Thank you for the accommodation.
Anyone else for courtesy of the floor? Motion to close courtesy of the floor?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Well, I'll make some brief comments. Lonnie, I'm curious, is Lonnie up? And did your dad share his stories with you? Because a lot of, that's great, because a lot of World War II vets did not. You're not going to be able to, no, I can't have you come up, but you have them on tape. I'd like to hear some of those one day. Kevin and Peter, thank you. I know I've been having some conversation about this. I will disagree with the fact that politicians got us into this. The politicians are not the ones out there creating this violence, although sometimes their rhetoric can be. But similar to the Holocaust, and you guys could mash this out, when we do the Holocaust Remembrance ceremony here, I purposely do not call it a Yom HaShoah because it's about our civic end of it, and it's about the people in public service that are saying, we will make sure we don't forget, we will carry this message, because that is an important aspect of that. It's great for the populace to come together and say, and the religious leaders to give that prayer, but I think it's very, very important for the elected officials to be held accountable, and their words do have meaning. So however you guys work it out, that's fine. But I do think that there is value in hearing that commitment or recommitment to making sure of nonviolence, of First Amendment rights, of listening, having conversation, and being able to have the back and forth. Mark, thank you for sharing that, and Jay, thank you for your counterpoint. Agree with both of you on certain parts of it, so very interesting. And Joanne, for the 9-2 meeting, we actually had a resolution. We were not able to vote on it because they withdrew the project. Perhaps they heard you, but I have sat here before, and I have told you, and I stand by that. I have respect for you, Brian, everyone in the town that I come across. If I've sat here and worried about making your decision based on losing a vote, I don't belong here. So I know you. I know that the village has a voice. I know there were a lot of voices speaking about it. We had to look through everything, and similar to, Mark heard a presentation by Susan Van Delsen, and she's a climate activist. She looks out a different window than Jay Kopstein looks out of. We all look out different windows, and we all have that. But I think that there was a decision to not expand the zone that was on the agenda. We cannot prevent anyone from coming back in. We will have to sit and listen if they do. There's also some laws sitting in Albany that could make it much worse. And I'll try to share those bills with you. But we will be, and I've said this all along too, eventually we will be impotent in what we can do if Albany passes some of the laws they want to pass. And I hope they don't. Personally, I think it changes our whole landscape of everything, because even where we think that some new development could be good, they take it to a whole new level. And you'll see when I'll send you, like I said, I'll send you the newest laws that they've been sitting in committee since January, but there's definitely a lot to unpack. So our job, unfortunately, is not very easy, and we are looking down the road what people do and what their plans are. We've had the conversation before, because I think it was your group, I don't know if it was you in particular, said, why hasn't this come back yet at one point? And we don't run the applicants run us. So if they put it in, they put it in. If they pull it out, they pull it out. And there's not much we can do once that happens. So I think that's it.
I just have a little something to say about that. Our job is to listen. Mm-hmm. That's our job. And we have to. Anybody can bring anything in front of the planning board, the zoning board, the town board. Our job is to listen. And we listened for 10 months, and before we came up with the resolution, we listened. We listened to the people. We listened to the developer. We listened to our town boards. We listened to the BACA. We listened to planning board, the zoning board. We listened to, that's our job.
County planning.
We're not here as a dictator and go, oh, we don't like the project, exit. No, we have to listen. That's our job. That's why we got elected. We're here to listen, and we've funneled through it, and before we read the resolution, we sat there and we listened to everybody, including all the boards.
I just have a few comments. Kevin, Peter, thank you for your comments. I just want to confirm, you said September 21st at 7 p.m., and what was the location?
Jack DeVito gazebo at the Veterans Memorial Field.
And I agree with you not to have politicians do it, because I'm looking around. I'm not sure if I'm the oldest in this room, but I'm pretty close to being old. And I can remember growing up in the 60s and 70s, maybe even into some of the 80s. It didn't used to be like this, okay? It simply didn't like to be this way. Whether it was in Washington, where both parties got together, okay? I heard stories, I think it was the speaker from Massachusetts, I can't remember his name. Tip O'Neill used to sit and, after they argued all day, in the halls of Congress, they went out and they had drinks together.
That's
all
nice.
right? I sat here at board meetings in the 70s and 80s, and we had bipartisan boards. When I was a supervisor in 2010, I worked with a bipartisan board, okay? We were civil. We disagreed, but we were civil. Forget about the violence. I mean, that was basically unheard of. And I have to say, unfortunately, I think it's from some of our political leaders, right, they have started the process, because, and I wish we could go back to what it used to be, because it was mud. We got things done, and we got things done civilly, and there might have been some violence that I don't remember, but it wasn't like it used to be. So I think, thank you for having this meeting, but let's keep the politicians out of it. Mark, I would appreciate it if you have some kind of website or link to get more information about this whole tech proposal. You don't want to hear from a quote, an activist, because that's clearly one-sided, but I just like to look at the facts. I'd like to know what Holtec is proposing, and I'd like to see what they're doing. Joanne, I got very confused about what happened at that September 2nd the meeting where we turned down the.
Actually, we didn't, Susan.
No, that's my point.
Yeah.
I didn't start it out saying. Supervisor, if I remember correctly, said that on Sunday he got a notification from the town, from the developer, saying that they were withdrawing. That resolution, the agenda for the meeting wasn't probably printed up until Tuesday, because Monday was Labor Day. So if the supervisor knew on Sunday that it was going to be withdrawn and the town board didn't have to vote, why was there a resolution even printed on that agenda? The supervisor could have said, just the way he did say, that at the start of that meeting, the application's been withdrawn, end of story. The withdrawal resolution, which didn't have to be voted on, didn't have to be in
Susan,
the agenda. It was very confusing.
Susan, if I may, over the Labor Day weekend, I was celebrating a little early my 60th birthday. I had company on Sunday. I said that it was emailed on Sunday. I did not get it on Sunday. Monday was Labor Day, and my wife and I had people over as well. And then on Tuesday, when I was in the office going through the backlog of emails, I came across it. At that point, when I sent a message to Adam, it was too late. And so I don't know what your point is, per se. I do think it was on the.
That's exactly what she was speaking against before. The last comment.
I do think it was on the tentative that went out on Friday.
I saw it.
So it was there.
I think we should move on.
So I don't. If you have any other points, but the civility, that's a lack of civility. You're trying to paint a picture that's not accurate, and I stated that I had received it on Sunday, but I did not read it. As you could see, there was the attorney was upset about it because he didn't get a reply until an hour before the meeting, because that's when we had that opportunity. So, I'm sorry that it's not Dr. Evil taking over the world, but it is what it is.
I couldn't find, when I wanted to check, I couldn't find, because the tentative agenda, because I didn't remember what was in the tentative agenda, but that's no longer available online, so I couldn't see that to confirm that. But if the final agenda was not printed up until sometime Tuesday afternoon, okay?
I saw it Sunday on the tentative agenda.
So
well,
I saw it Sunday.
That's what I tried to find out, and I didn't have
on
it.
the website.
No, the tentative agenda is no longer on the.
When the new one
It
comes
changes over, so I couldn't confirm that. It was legitimate to put it on the tentative agenda.
Let's move
Absolutely.
on. Let's go.
But
okay.
not
So
not
I'm
on the
sorry
final
to stop you, but I felt it important. Is there anything else you had?
No, those are my only points.
These are the things that lend to the 4-hour meetings. Let's move on.
Well,
right.
I could say that there are other things that were not germane, but I won't bring those up
all
because
right.
I'm trying to be
If I
civil.
could, thank you. I appreciate that. We'll move to resolutions, if we may.
Great idea.
Oh, I'm sorry, referrals. Oh, so there's still some excitement to come today. We get to listen to Dan. All right, so a referral for New York State Building and Fire Code Section 1062.7B, the fire service function. Actually, I don't have anyone here to talk about that, but I will say that in New York State, there's actually a regulation that, good night, thank you for coming. There's a regulation in New York State that they've been going to have a common key for, I will give a minute for the, that's okay. No, it's a production. Hope the knee gets better.
Quickly.
Brian, make her some nice tea with a little bit of whiskey in it. Help her sleep tonight.
Bye, Brian.
Take care.
Bye. Be careful.
So basically, in the fire code for New York, they have a regulation that there is a common elevator key, so an emergency key to turn the elevator and be able to have it controlled by the fire department. At this time, Yorktown does not have that in their code. So I could go to an elevator at the Cappellini Center, and it is one key, and I could go to a fire and need to get into the elevator at the high school, and it's another key. To make things safer for all involved, they've asked for a specific Yale key to be used on that. So we will put that out and I put out the chapter. And I will say, let me jump back. We're doing this way, which is a little different, because we realized with the Jewish holidays, it's almost a full 3 weeks before our next meeting. We have Rosh Hashanah next week. The 30th, we don't have one scheduled, and unfortunately I can't make it with October 1st, the next day with Yom Kippur. I have some obligations. And then the 7th, before our next meeting, because the 1st falls on a Wednesday. So we're doing this referrals just to make sure they could get out to our department heads, and we don't kill 3 weeks on some of these.
Are we going to do one resolution for all the referrals?
Sure, we could do it like that.
Yep. Okay.
So let me finish with the elevator key. So there's also what's called a drop key, which is how they open the door if someone's stuck, and those will also be unified. And we are now looking at the what's called a Knox box key, which is a key on the outside of buildings for the fire department to make sure they could get in. I'm trying to find out if all of the Knox boxes have the same keys to get in. The key inside of it is really what's important to get into the building, and that's, of course, keyed to the building.
Actually, the fire department recommended a few times that if they could get the Knox boxes lower, because you have to pull out a ladder to get up to the Knox box, to unlock it, to get the key out, to get back down the ladder, to go save people. So, they feel that that's more efficient. Maybe that's a conversation we can have as a discussion item.
Yep.
So all of this is, we are complying with this requirement. It's not like we're changing our code because it's in the state code, which we automatically adopt, correct?
We're updating our law to reflect this, yes.
Which is in the state code.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to.
I didn't.
What do you think? Just a letter?
Get it right? No. New York State. I think the building inspector is authorized and obligated.
Get closer to the mic, Adam.
The building inspector is authorized and obligated to enforce the uniform code, which includes the state code. And I'll speak to the building inspector about this, and if we need to pursue a code amendment, we can do that. I don't think we do.
All right.
I think it's either way. It's one of those things where it's clearer. We're always talking about clarity. It's clearer if it's in our code as well.
But our code is the state code, right?
Well,
Our code is the state code.
this was the captain of the firehouse that brought us.
I'm not saying
right.
Making the physical changes is critical.
Right.
There's no question.
But I think that they're looking for the clarity in our code as well. It's a specific key. It's there. Now we could probably handle it with a letter. But I don't think it's a bad idea, Adam, to just beef up that law on our books a little bit.
I don't think it really, I don't think it hurts, and I don't think it's a big deal that we have, that it's. I think it's a good thing. I think it and now it's in our code as well, and it's in 2 places. I don't think it's that big of a deal whether we do it or not, but
Sure.
And I don't think it warrants a big discussion.
Yeah. Well,
It's
let's
not that
put it
complicated.
out for referral, and we have time to look to see if we could just change it, and for clarification purposes.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So Dan, I'll first ask: do we have anyone here for 2830 Stony and 2824 Stony? All right, Dan. Then you could come up and talk to us about that.
Good evening. All right, so these 2 lots are side by side. They're different applicants. These are 2 vacant lots just north of Winding Court on Stony Street, on the east side of the street. So because of the amount of disturbance involved, it kicks it to this board for a non-administrative permit. There also are some things that show up on GIS that look to be water courses. They're probably the discharge from drainage pipes, but we want to refer it out, and since it has to be before this board anyway, we'll come up, whatever issues there are, the referral will bring those to the forefront.
Dan, I have a question on the Stony Street ones. I looked at all the documents that were submitted. I didn't see a topo on any of them, on the 2 Stony, and I'm concerned because there might be some steep slopes.
There are.
I didn't see topo. I saw one had a landscaping things, and then it was just general site plans, where the house was going to be.
I
But
thought
could you make sure that
The full referral will have the topo. There is a proper site plan. I don't know why you didn't see that, but
Could-
that'll be in the referral the clerk is going to circulate.
And I thought they were avoiding the steep slopes on this.
Well, the lot has steep slopes.
I just wanted to see that because it's the concern that I raised the previous meeting about the need for a steep slope ordinance, and this is just another example of some things that wouldn't normally go through the planning board, because if this is just strictly a building permit kind of an issue, could you just double check the email that I received as a board member with all of the documents, and I did not see. I apologize if it was there and I missed it, but I would definitely like to see the topo.
I didn't see it either.
It's been done.
You didn't see that.
I didn't see it either.
All right.
So please send that in addition. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
No problem.
All right. So I'm sure we could get those referred out.
Okay.
2131 Mohansick Avenue.
It's an existing small residence that they're going to do a major expansion on. Again, it's probably got some wetlands buffer issues. There's hydric soils in the backyard, and it exceeds the threshold for our excavation permit. So once again, it's before this board as a non-administrative application.
So they're adding 814 square feet and a patio. How big's the house now? Do you know?
It's probably, the footprint's probably under 1,000 square feet.
All right.
So it's not.
It's not like this gigantic thing that they're building. So, all right.
All right. 3307 Hollywood Street. Yes, applicant is here.
And on this one, what the situation was, I guess it's, this one's been banging around. It was before the zoning board last week, and they approved the variance. So now we have to follow through on, now that the variance has been granted, to get a stormwater permit, excavation permit, and I don't know if you want to add anything to that?
How you doing?
Hi.
Penny. Well, we did all the, for the zoning board, we did public hearings, and, this has been going on for a couple of years, so this is a lot for this particular property. So, I mean, I'd just like to see it kind of move along. It's a 1/4 acre lot, so, all right?
Very good.
How big's the house?
Total up and down, 2,300 square feet, 2,400 square foot. Yep.
Thank you.
All right. And Shrub Oak Lake Dredge Spoils Disposal.
Yay.
Dan Thaler is here from.
We have Dan and Dan.
Dan and Dan.
Hi, Dan.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Nice to
I'll tee
see you
this
again.
one off as something that they did, was it 25 years ago?
25 years ago. I don't know how far back you want me to go.
No, we.
Anyway, the lake was built in the late 30s, last century. This is kind of a maintenance procedure as we see it. 25 years ago, we did a major project where we used a piece of property, town property at the east end of North Ridge Road for the spoils area. We're looking to do that again. We're not looking to take out quite as much material this time. But this for us is step one. From here, we're going to go with state permits, town permits, et cetera, whatever's required to make this happen. But if we can't get your approval, then we go nowhere.
It's DOA.
So here we are.
I don't have a
So,
problem.
yeah. So, Dan, I was in your neighborhood actually yesterday. And it seemed around that North Ridge Road area by the lake there was a heavy odor. Is that the lake and the needing for the dredging, or was someone having a bad septic?
I didn't notice that. It's a good question. I don't know. But
Okay.
the lake is, we haven't had a lot of rain. Could use a little flushing out right now. It's a little bit of algae in there.
Little stale, yeah, okay.
But it is getting shallow. I don't know if I sent out the depth surveys, the recent ones. We're looking to take out about 17,000 yards of material, which will, my understanding, dewater to about 11,000, which is less than we took out last time. We won't be using as much of the area this time as we did 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
So I think it is important to note that this is the piece of land is parkland, but so is the lake. So it's like
right.
It's utilizing the park land a little differently
To support the
to
lake.
support
The
the lake.
spoils just stay there and.
Yeah, they'll dry out. We'll grade it. We'll seed it however you guys require from us.
Okay.
But this is something that, since it's a man-made lake, we're looking at this as a maintenance project, and will have to be done every 20, 25 years,
Needs
depending
to
on,
be done.
how we set things up. We're looking to have sort of not really a forebay, but an area where we can periodically pull material out of the lake so that we don't have to do a major project every
Yeah, some
25
future
years.
maintenance.
Yeah, it'd be nice. In 25 years, I'm not going to be around to do this again. This is my second go-around. So hopefully, we can
You
do it
set
this
it up to win.
I'll pass this along to the next generation.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
So,
so that's
that's going to go out for referral, but I think we could get a quick census. I think we already
Yeah.
have 3.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
That's
So,
good. We're all good with it.
so it'll still go through the process, but I
Okay.
think this is something that's much needed for that lake and
Yeah.
the neighborhood.
Yeah, that's the centerpiece of our neighborhood. Is that
Well, I
lake.
was almost I had property on Artist Lane. I almost lived
okay.
over there, so I know
Excellent.
the area very well.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your efforts to maintain it and to do the homework and all that.
Yeah, and my grandparents were founding members, so this is very
Cool and personal.
close to me. My daughter and my grandson, and my brother all live in the neighborhood. So
Nice.
It's
Yeah,
a, and it's a
Get
beautiful,
dredging.
and it's really a beautiful
Sounds like you have
neighborhood,
a whole
but very
hand-me-down
hilly.
system there.
Yeah.
Your daughter, your grandson.
So you're gonna do it yourself with like a shovel and scoop?
well, depending on the cost, we may have to.
We may have to. I know we were talking about that. The grade.
So
I don't even want to look at the numbers.
And so, and it's similar to, this board recently reviewed the one for T-Town.
right.
So we're talking about what's gonna end up happening, whether they'll do it like that, hydraulically dredging, or whether they'll bring in an excavator to bring it out. So
Right.
that's still in the works, but the key is, so they know to invest in the engineering and permitting that's gonna be required, that they know that the board will permit
The action.
Yep.
Yep.
allow them
The
to
use of the property.
Use the property.
Fantastic. I'm
Like I
sorry.
said, it's step one. Thank you.
Gentlemen, have a good night. And Mr. Brady, congratulations. I heard you were coming out of retirement, although not playing football.
I saw you on TV yesterday.
He's a good cycler, I have to tell you. I see him going up and down the
Okay.
hill
I know, God
where I
bless him.
live.
All right. So can I have a motion to refer out these 6 items?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. That might be a good way to do all our referrals now.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. And thank
Thanks, Dan and Dan.
you. Thank you for your commitment to the community. Be well.
Take care.
All right, resolutions. From the Albert A. Cappellini Community and Cultural Center, authorize lease of certain rooms within the Albert A. Cappellini Community and Cultural Center to be used by Philem Self-Defense, Inc. for a for-profit corporation. From the Engineering Department, authorize the controller to release erosion control bond in the amount of $1,500 to Pietro and Gladys DeSisto. Did we do that one last week, or that was a different bond? All right. Authorize the controller to release the erosion control bond in the amount of $500 to ARQ Architectures, PC. Authorize the controller from Finance. Authorize the controller to pay Donna Polito the cash value of unused time as of her date of retirement, as enumerated below. And congratulations, Donna.
Congrats.
Yes. From the Highway Department, authorize the controller release of following general right-of-way permit GRW 001 to AR Galenelli in the amount of $7,280. From the Police Department, authorize Chief of Police to execute a use and dissemination agreement with the New York State Division of Criminal Justice for access to criminal history and wanted and or missing person data. And actually, I think I just read something about our street team, which deals with some of that, being involved in finding a hit and run suspect in Rockland.
I thought you were going to say you were on the wanted part.
Yeah, not on the wanted.
Okay, thank God.
From Section 8 Housing, authorize the town's Section 8 Program Director to sign the annual Civil Rights Certification for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2026. God bless you. For submission to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. From the Town Attorney, authorize the supervisor to retroactively, as of 7/23/25, sign an agreement with Hudson Property Advisors, LLC, for the provision of appraisal services in the amount of $4,500, and authorize the controller to reimburse Bleakley Platt and Schmidt, LLP, for the disbursement of that amount. Authorize the supervisor to enter into an agreement with Sustainable Westchester for technical assistance under the Municipal Solarize program in order to explore development of solar and or energy storage system projects on municipal facilities.
I have some questions on that one. On July 1st, we passed a resolution that says, resolve the town clerk is authorized to advertise a request for proposals to be for the procurement and installation of solar power systems on town buildings.
That wasn't passed.
It was passed. This is a
No,
copy of
that-
the resolution.
This is one to go out to bid. And then we spoke about contracting with,
At the time that we passed this resolution, and the resolution, because I printed it off, it just said we were going for rooftop solar, okay, on town buildings. At the discussion, if you listen to the tape, the video, which I listened to today, it was clear that we were going to go to Sustainable Westchester to use their expertise, which you said was the way to go based on your comments, your
Conversations with Warren
conversations
Lucas.
with North Salem, that we hope to get more responses. So I'm a little confused as to what this resolution says, because it says to explore development for technical assistance. It doesn't say technical assistance for what. It doesn't talk about the RFP. Also, let me backtrack. At the July 1st time, you said, and again, it's on the video, that you were going to use your supervisor's prerogative to approve contracts below a certain amount to contract with Sustainable Westchester to do that, but it has never been done. And then at a recent meeting, when I asked about the status of the RFP, you were having some second thoughts that we could somehow use an old RFP, but you had not contacted Sustainable Westchester. So
I actually have been in contact the whole
But you're-
time with NOM. Just let me.
So what
let-
is this
Susan,
resolution? This
let me
resolution
help you
says-
out then.
All right.
So we're getting their technical assistance to write the RFP.
Doesn't say that.
Okay. And on the resolution you read, it doesn't say that we are using them.
That's right.
Right. So there was a question that came up legally if you look at New York State procurement law, that it does say all agreements need to be approved by the board. Now, we do pass a resolution in January that gives me that power, but there was debate as to if it would be covered with this. So this resolution is to make sure that all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted, and to get Sustainable Westchester to be working on this project for us. I could pull it. We could delay it more.
I don't-
Okay, so
But
so
I
but
just, I
that's-
would like to have the wording of this resolution clarified to say technical assistance to prepare an RFP. That's number one. It's not just general technical assistance. That could be to evaluate.
That's fine. Can we add to prepare
And
the RFP?
also that it is not for energy storage systems.
They
Are you looking? You just
no,
banned energy
absolutely,
battery storage.
but large scale battery energy storage does
Ban.
not necessarily mean any type of storage. So we're not doing anything large scale. Like we have some solar powered chargers that charge lights, that charge the car charging stations. So we're not talking about a large-scale battery energy storage system. They are out of our code. But we do have small-scale, like household ones, that are allowed. So,
But we
it
don't
doesn't-
need it. That's not that's an RFP.
that's
if it's
fine.
household.
That's fine, and we will know when the RFP comes in. We don't want that part of it. If they're trying to put large scale, we know our law.
I'd also like to know exactly what we're asking Sustainable Westchester to do. For example, solar. Are we talking about the original July 1st thing? We were only talking about rooftop
Specific
solar.
buildings.
Now are we considering canopies? Are we considering canopies over town parking lots?
We always have considered
Yeah, I
canopies, and
never-
actually had in the one that I wanted to put back out. That was the one with HESP Solar
It was
that had
20.
come back. So we will. You know what? Patrick, you're going to get quoted today. Our job is to listen and hear everything and make sure that we make the best decisions. So if there is a place where it is appropriate for that, for a canopy, then we'll do it.
So I just want
always-
to make it clear that when we have this agreement with Sustainable Westchester, which I definitely want to do, and I'm disappointed that it wasn't done January 1st, that it could be for rooftop, it could be for ground mounted, it could be for canopies, and it could be for some kind of undefined.
I will look at anything on our town property that makes sense and does not stretch our law, and that also is something that will not impact the public. Like we have things that, like by the sewer, that I think that was a big hit by the water treatment plant. And the last time around, there were some good things that had come up there, and we just never got to there. So I'll look at anything, Susan, but
No,
once
I
you
just
get-
want.
let's
I'm willing
get
to
the
look
idea.
at
Okay.
anything, but I just want to know exactly what we're asking. That this is you're going further, which I'm delighted that you're going
Right.
further than
So
just
if you're
rooftop
delighted,
solar.
let's move on, and we'll work with Sustainable Westchester, and we will make sure that the RFP meets all of our things.
And it says technical assistance for developing an RFP.
Yeah, I asked Diana to put that on already.
I'm prepared to move forward, all right?
Are you?
It just wasn't clear.
We might not get it. We could probably stretch this to midnight.
Go ahead.
If we go.
I'm sorry.
No?
Clarity is somewhat important.
I agree with you.
And it's still open for interpretation, unfortunately.
Okay. So
Have we cleared this
from
up? Are we
from
good?
from the water department, award the bid for automotive and small engine parts and equipment tools. Can I have a motion on those?
Motion.
Yes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. One more, but before that, Lashana Tova to everyone celebrating, but may you all have a sweet year and very, very peaceful year. Okay, motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
Sorry.
Second, okay, all in favor?
Aye. Good night, Yorktown.
Good night.